Richard Nikoley, freetheanimal.com. And this might seem like a repeat, but it's not. We're going to go get coffee over at Nyharn Lagoon, which they call Nyharn Lake, and do a walk around it. And I'm going to do some random stuff with a stupid selfie stick to make me look like a narcissistic idiot. But I'm going to do it for you. Take one for the team. And I'm going to I'm experimenting with camera shit and everything. And now the editing, so on. So I'm all outfitted here. Without stopping the camera. So I got the GoPro mounted, and I have a mount for the phone. So as I drive, I'm going to be recording the front view with the GoPro and me, the camera, and then kind of splice them together, all fancy shit like, right? Can't help it. I should have known better getting into this shit, because now I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can put titles, I transition, all that shit. All right, let's hit the road here. Got 2 cameras running. The editing is going to be a bitch. I'll start. All right. So this should be more interesting, but the editing is going to be a bitch, because then I've got 2 cameras, and you got to cut back and forth. But what else am I going to do on a Saturday? I'm going to walk around the lagoon, or as they call it, the lake, and I'm going to have like I said, the selfie stick. So I look narcissistic as fuck, right? But people who are just the onlookers, they aren't aware that I'm so chock full of amazing insights into just about everything. Wouldn't you agree? This is the life for me, and that's why the no alcohol is so easy. My life has become radically different. No going back from this. This is living. Sitting there doing half-plastered videos, writing clever shit drunk, editing sober, and making note that, hey, I say shit when I'm drunk that I probably wouldn't otherwise say, but damn, it's kind of good. Don't need it. Yeah, I bottled up with tons of shit to talk about, but I'm going to save it for the walk around the lake. I don't know how long this will be. I have no idea what I'm even going to talk about. Stuff will just come to me. And here we are. That's where we're headed. Nyharn. Much better going this way. You get the view. Whereas before, you are taking it the opposite way. Coming down into Nikoley. I used to
down into the lake area. Cup of Americano, 30 baht. Do the walk around the lagoon, where I say anything that I want. Still don't know whether I'm going to use the phone, the GoPro, or my Canon. I like it. Pretty cool. And I have a solution for the wind noise. For the wind noise. For 0 baht. I just waved at James, who's walking up the hill here. He's the owner of Vibes, and it's a fairly new restaurant. He's an American, and he's the talk of the town because he has that. He's the one who does that 99 baht breakfast with the eggs, the potatoes, the tomatoes. 1 slice of bacon, two small sausages, and a slice of ham, and toast and butter and jam. If you want coffee, tea, or an OJ, it's another 30 baht. So you're at 260 or 270 for the breakfast in dollars, US dollars, or about 350 with coffee or juice. You know. So, great lost leader. Because a lot of guys go there. And of course, you're going to come back for a pizza or a sandwich or a burger. But it's green and it's renewable. Fuck off. I love it how it's all crumbling. Maybe I'll talk about that first. Okay, for this morning and my coffee, I have company in the chair next to. Hey, kitty. No. Yeah. There you go. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Huh. Okay. All right. Gonna walk around the lake there. And yes, I'm going to put all of these padded 1-inch thick tennis shoe wear. It's a shame. I'm going to walk it barefoot. Okay, here we are, starting point. I'm in front of Niharn Lake. My tripod, I keep saying pod, doubles as a selfie stick. So I can look, like I've said this 3 times already, a narcissistic idiot, right? But it has effect. So let's start out walking. The barefoot. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is what was on my mind, and that is this whole YouTubing thing. So it has been 2 months and about a week since I met Russell Hantz, the guy who did 3 seasons of American Survivor on CBS and did what nobody ever did. He broke the game, what he did. And after he was off, I quit watching it. And that was, over 10 years ago. They're up to season 40-something now. Don't care. Anyway, I meet him on July the 1st. And there's a video where I interview him at a restaurant on the beach, not far from here. He was doing all sorts of videos. He's here in Thailand doing videos every day. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try that out. And since then, this will be the 56th video in 2 months and a week, right? Now, let me give you some perspective on that. I've been saying like 13 years I've had my YouTube channel. It's actually 16. I looked it up. My first video was a hang gliding video
2006, so 16 years. In that 16 years, producing about almost 200 videos. You know, cooking, just different shit. I accumulated just over 1,000 watch hours. Watch hours is the accumulated. The person doesn't have to watch the whole video. Anything they watch, a minute, 5 minutes, whatever, all goes against your watch, goes towards your watch hours. And to be monetized, you need 4,000 total watch hours. I had enough subscribers. You have to have 1,000 subscribers or more. I'm up to like almost 1,300 now. I started at about just over 1,000. So there's been a couple hundred new subscribers in that time. And so I've got all the boxes checked except for the watch hours, which was 1,000. You have to have 4,000. So I get to work. And so these 55 videos I've done over a relatively short period of time, have more than doubled my watch hours. I'm now I'm about 2,000, almost 2,000 and 2,100. So I'm over halfway there to get to 4,000. And then I can start I don't know how much. So yeah, I'm not going to give figures, but Russell told me how much he makes on his channel per month, and it's pretty good. So you can make a business of it. Of course, some YouTubers they rake in millions, right? They have so much of a following. I'm never going to be like that, because I do a video about what I want to talk about, and it doesn't correspond well with the general global narrative. And I'm not into like reviewing games and movies. I can never be a single issue writer, blogger, or video creator. So I've gotten this going, and I like doing it. And my mode has basically been to just film it, no editing. I mean, one single file. I can upload it directly to YouTube from my SD card if I want to. But now it's like it's too much fun. And so you may have seen that in some of the videos. So I'm using like titles and transitions. And now this is an effort in, right over here was 2 cameras. But that's an editing chore. But I've never done that, actually. I know how to do it. I'll be right back. There's a public toilet here, and I've had a gallon of coffee so far since 4:30 this morning. I'll be right back. Nice toilet. A word about that. See, I told you I'm going to talk about anything that pops in my narcissistic head. So, if you want to, Americans, they often say restroom or bathroom, which is dumb because most of them, especially public ones, don't have baths in them, right? The French say WC, which means water closet. But if you want to be truly international, just use the word toilet. Universally understood, no matter where you are. So drop all the other shit and just say toilet. Okay. So what do I have to say more about the video? So yeah, I'm going to have an editing task. It'll be fun for a Saturday morning. And we'll do it. Okay. So I'm gonna pause here. Plus, I'm using the phone for the video because it's easier. Downloads automatically via Google Photos, and so I'm gonna just pause. Plus, this is a cheapo Android phone. It's like 9,000 baht, like $250, something like that. I'm finished with the expensive Apple phones, you know. It does everything. The camera's not as good, no, but it's good enough. And if I lose it, oh well. I had a Samsung Android, and I tripped, and it was in my pocket, and I crushed it. So now I have a Redmi, which is a Xiaomi. I think it's an Indian phone, if I'm not mistaken. Works fine. So anyway, but the problem is when the video gets longer, the sound gets out of sync with the lips. So you have to stop and start it every few minutes. So let me take a pause right here. I'll be back when I think of something new to talk about. Okay, that wasn't long. It took about 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm just brimming with loving life. No. Does that sound trite? Maybe it does, right? After all, I'm using a selfie stick, so I'm a narcissist, so look at my life. But on the other hand, now that I'm free and clear of the destructive relationship that I was in, and believe me, you don't know 10% of the story, right? And people say, oh, don't, or at least one guy says, oh, don't tell us it was for the kids. It was fucking absolutely for the kids, right? It's fucking absolutely for the kids. Had it been just her, no. That would have been done in May of 2020, before I went to the village and saw how the kids were living. And not just the two daughters, it's the nephew, Ninja. So anyway, so now I'm free and clear of that. I did a video yesterday about using the dating apps, and I pretty much narrowed it down to just using Tinder. It has the most options for a free user in terms of locking down the area of your searches. I've got it at 5 kilometers. Other ones like, don't get me started on Thai Friendly and Thai Cupid. That's where all the unattractive older women are. There's some attractive ones, but the attractive ones are on Tinder, younger and attractive. But that's also where all the bar girls and freelancers and massage girls are too. So but you filter. I have mine set to 5 kilometers. You can set it at 1 kilometer, And in fact, even setting at 5 kilometers, like most of the things that come up, it's like 1 to 2 kilometers away, sometimes 3. But all of that is easy drive and sometimes walking. But here, coming out at it starts as soon as it gets sun up, and there you can go up the hill. I'll do that soon. Right now I'm just walking around the lake. Coffee before, Americano before, and Americano afterwards. But there's tons. It's a target-rich environment here, and you can rest assured that 99% of the minimum aren't bar girls. You know why? You can't reach or communicate with a bar girl before about 1400 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. You can guess why. Either they're still with the guy from the night before, or they got up and went home 7, 8 in the morning. And went back to sleep again. So, I'm not, I like barbells. I like them. I have since 40 years. Since Busan, Korea in 1982 when I was a midshipman in the U.S. Navy doing my summer cruise, they call it. Yeah, they're great. But in context, right? You're looking for something better. You want to meet the girls that work regular jobs. You name it. But it's not in a bar, it's not freelancing, and it's not a massage parlor, the kind that do happy endings. Okay, so enough on that. Let me think of another subject. Okay, so how could I possibly do a video like this, walking barefoot, which is great for stimulating thought? How could I do a video like this without bringing up, global politics, which has shrunk? I think the signs to me are that the utter irrational rage because of it kind of got started with Brexit, really, in 2015-ish, was it? And then, of course, Donald Trump. But it wasn't just that Donald Trump was elected. It's part of it. It's that Hillary lost. And that was in the making since 1992. It was always going to be 8 years for Bill, 8 years for Hillary. Right? So 1992, 30, well, not 30 at the time, 25 years in the making in 2016, right? 25 years in the making of careful planning, often very astute political calculations. I mean, the Democrats just kick the shit out of the Republicans on the political chessboard so often and so easily, right? I mean, like I've always said, while Democrats may be the evil party, Republicans are at least the stupid party. And I mean fucking dumb as rock stupid. I have almost a greater disdain for them. Democrats are easy to detect. Republicans talk a good talk, but they're limp dick fuckers, at least in the politics, with very few exceptions. Fucking hate them. And no, you can't make headway anywhere else. Libertarians, forget about it. Libertarians, what's their party platform? Smoke dope, run around naked. About it. Bunch of fucking weirdos too. Social misfits. Sociopaths too. Alright. A lot of sociopathology in libertarian realms. The more anarchist ones, like I was, they at least think, and they're a little bit more reliable. Okay, so anyway, the big crumbling started there. Brexit, Trump winning, Hillary losing, and so gradually the Democrats, the left, just went off the rails. I mean, they still are not learning lessons, right? And they're going off the rails. I saw a news report this morning. Netflix, Google, Amazon, Apple, in terms of media creators and producers, are still... Hey! Good. Not going to be so bumpy. So that was Mook. She was a thing for about 5 weeks. I'm getting sidetracked here. Bar girl. And when I met her, she was like brand new to the bar, right? And she's great. I shouldn't say this, but in the bedroom, fantastic. So what about 4 weeks, 5 weeks? And then she starts getting more used to the bar. And some guy, some rich German guy, she said, is here on vacation. Took her out of the bar for a week. The bar fine, no big deal. That's like for the whole week about $150 maybe. But he was giving her $100 a day. And she said it was for a week on a boat, like on a small yacht kind of thing. She says like, yeah, only sex 2 times, but he still give me $100 a day. And took her shopping, bought her a bunch of shit. And so as soon as that happens, she changes completely. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. Then they're like, it's just an attitude. And they start getting callous, right? Before that, they're like, guys. And they actually like, because they're very picky at first, right? They're very picky. And so they only go with guys that they really like, that they think they'll enjoy, So they're going to make money and enjoy it too. They're going to have orgasms, right? And when it changes, become callous, and with good reason, it takes 2 to tango, right? So yeah, she's working in a bar, but you're going to the bar. So you're both a bit dysfunctional, actually. Just admit it, right? It's funny, all these guys are, I never. Like, in Asia, there's tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of bars with women hostesses that, it may not be overt, but I guarantee you, like in Japan, there's no such thing as like the bar fine and take them out, But if you go in there and buy them drinks and get to know them and they like you, they'll sure as hell meet up with you after work or arrange for the weekend or something like that. So it's all the same. And but all of this exists, yet you talk to guys and this, no, I never. Well, how do all those hundreds of thousands of bars stay open, and how do all those millions of girls make a living? Very interesting. No idea, huh? Yeah. Just own up to it. Fucking ridiculous. Right? We're guys. I saw an interesting video. Jordan Peterson. It's not that old, a few months maybe. He's talking to an evolutionary psychologist. Now get this. One little bit from... They're talking about sexual selection, right? In humans, men and women. The guy makes the point that, the animal kingdom is what the animal kingdom is. But when you get to humans, the big difference is that it's more of a mutual thing, right? But that only goes so far, in terms of like having a household, a mate for long term in a household. It's pretty much a mutual thing, which doesn't really exist in the animal kingdom, right? In human parlance, the animal kingdom is pretty much rape, except for birds, I guess. You know, that's why the male birds are typically more beautiful or colorful than the females, because they have to strut their stuff like a peacock. That's what I call all the body tatted Muay Thai fighters here. Tats all over their bodies, you know, ripped in the gym all the time. Call them peacocks. So anyway, let's see how I get off of that. Hang on, I'll get back to it. Okay, I regained my... So anyway, in this diversion that I'm doing from the politics is that... ooh, I haven't got far to go. Maybe I'll do a second lap. Is that... so Jordan Peterson's talking with this guy. He says it's mutual first, but then they do tests. And so they had guys and women that are they go up to people randomly on the street, and they ask them one of three questions. Like, so it's one question is, you know, basically, would you like to go somewhere and have a drink or something? Second question is, would you come to my apartment with me? And this is on the spot, right, if you've met someone. The other one, the third question is, would you have sex with me? Right? Okay, so guys went up and asked this to random women, and women went out and asked this to random guys. You can probably almost guess the results. In terms of just a date, they eat both men and women were about 50-50 on that, right? In terms of, would you come back to my apartment? I think men were like 50-60% in the affirmative. Women were like 10-12%. The final one, would you come have sex with me? Right? Like stranger sex, like just me. The women, 0%. I don't know how many subjects in the test bed. The guys, 75% in the affirmative. Now that doesn't tell you how different guys are, and all this trans shit is bullshit. I don't know what to tell you. We're different, right? And the smart women understand it, and they know how to tame it. What? Primarily by being nice and not a fucking cunt. If you're nice, the guy doesn't really want to wander. But you're a bitch. You deny sex. You use it as a leverage, as a tool, and everything. Well, fuck you, right? And guys should never put up with it. All right, I think I'm going to do another lap here. Back to the thing. That goes quick. All right, let me regroup. All right, now let's resume the politics. So, yeah, Brexit, Donald winning, Hillary losing, right? Well, the Democrats just went so apoplectic, and they're still doubling down. And what's so hilarious is I don't understand how they don't seem to understand that they're pandering to a small base. Hang on, crossing. Oh, there's a thing. There's Mook. Hi, Mook. Yeah, smile. You can smile, Okay, so you saw her. Does she look 47 to you? Because that's how old she is. Pretty amazing. So, and her body's really nice. One child. So, anyway, so easy to get distracted here. Crazy. All right, I'm back at the toilet, so I'm going to make another pit stop. So, this, Biden's stupid fucking speech. It's like, who is running your shit, man? Who's writing your speeches? Who's advising you? Who's in charge? What is it like? It's got to be the equivalent of these shill male and female woke assholes that you see on college campuses screaming because someone doesn't take things the way they want, right? Like temper tantrum children. And anything, it's hilarious because the narrative now is that if you oppose us politically or you disagree with us, you're a threat to democracy. Well, isn't that what democracy is? Not that I'm a big fan of it, but, call it what it is. Describe it how it is. It's supposed to be that the prevailing views and values are the ones that move forward for better or worse. And so shouldn't all of the ideas and expressions and values see the inside of a voting booth? And you have some decorum and dignity and grace, and you accept the outcome, whether it's your preferred outcome or not, presuming you like the system, right? But but what they're saying is that, okay, the result isn't like what we wanted, so by some magic, that makes everybody who voted in the other way a violent threat to democracy. All the while, they're vermin. They're vermin, and I'm referring to the pet vermin of the left and the Democrats, namely BLM and Antifa, who riot, burn, loot, destroy. Violent. Right? They're protecting democracy. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, it's just flabbergasting. And then, but it's not just America who's afflicted. It is it's the whole, America and Western Europe. I think the rest of the world is most of the rest of the world, including Asia, Thailand in particular, is being far more wise. China has its own set of problems, with their idiot COVID zero thing, which they fucking know will never work. So they've got some political ploy up their sleeve. But in terms of the left and Democrats, you got to see all this doubling down on nonsense, right? And I think I started to talk about it, but the media companies that produce media, Netflix, Amazon, Google, Apple, they still enjoy pretty favorable ratings. Over 50% of people think of them favorably, in spite of some of the crap that they produce, like Netflix's cuties and stuff like that. Netflix is at least visibly making overtures, signs that they're reining in some of their woke bullshit, their LGBT agendas and all that, so that every fucking thing you watch now, has to have some sort of homosexual stuff in it. It's fine, do what you want, but they're grossly overrepresenting the population, right? Right? Blacks too. Nothing against black people. I was married to a brown skin for 13 years, and I live in a country of brown skins, right? But blacks are like 13% of the U.S. population. Yet in media, they want them to be 50%. So everything you watch, has to have your token black person. And that's what they are. They're being used as pawns. To their credit, many black people realize this. They're like, Democrats don't fucking care about us. And they don't. In fact, Democrats are the source of racism in the. They were the source of opposing, abolition of slavery. They opposed the Civil Rights Bill. Democrats fucking hate black people. They're the braces. In general, they look down on them. They think they're inferior, but they see an opportunity to virtue signal and everything. But it's going away. It's on the way out. So, I know I keep rambling here. So anyway, the media companies. So all of the other Netflix, Apple, Google, Amazon, producers of content and distributors all enjoy pretty good favorability ratings. Guess who doesn't anymore? Disney. I think the article said they were like 70% favorability in March. They're under 50 now. That whole Florida thing. People aren't forgetting it. So, Disney, the great content producer from the great Walt Disney, going back how many decades is it? 70 decades, something like that, since the first Mickey and Minnie Mouse stuff. There was a healthy relationship for you. They turned them into rats, didn't they? Yeah, so they're under 50%. That's a huge dive. March, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months, and they have trashed their good name, their good reputation. Yeah, good. Fuck off, Disney. Fuck off. I'm so happy that so many of these investors, woke investors, lose money. Millions. Hilarious. Sell it short. Sell Disney short. Make some money. Okay, so back to, I'm in it already. The doubling down. So I think the way to really regard what's going on in America is it's a sure sign, to me at least, you may disagree, that the Democrats' internal polling realize that the midterms in 2000 might make the 1994 routing presided over by Bill Clinton. I forget the numbers, but it was huge. I mean, total shift. And then the Republicans squandered it, but that's another topic. might make that look like a scrimmage game, I mean, when Trump goes out and gets I don't know, what is the count now? I think he's only failed in 2 of them. But getting Republicans who opposed him primaried is a term, means they don't even get to the general election. They get beaten in the primary, and they're an incumbent. Isn't that delicious? So I think that it means that this stupidity from the Democrat, doubling down on the most fringe, ridiculous shit that nobody in their right mind buys into. It's a Hail Mary. It's a Hail Mary for these midterms. It's just throw shit against the wall constantly. See, but it's not going to work. That's not going to work. It's going to make matters worse. See, they don't seem to have, astute political consultants anymore that say, well, when you still lose, then what happens? You're going to still keep doubling down on this thing half of the American population is violent and a threat to democracy. Well, don't they realize that by doing that a lot of your constituents, your Democrat, lefty, woke constituents, have friends and family who are these violent threats to democracy? Your mother is a violent threat to democracy. Your father, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin. Yeah. Familial blood is typically a lot thicker than political water. So, but then you have Europe, right? I mean, it's even worse. I mean, they're on the path to destroying themselves. It's really something. Hi again, Mook. And I mean, you watch the German chancellor. What's her name? Yeah, hilarious for a country who invented the Blitzkrieg, right? Right. And may very well have dominated Europe if, number one, they hadn't been so stupid as to fight a 2-front war with the Russians and the rest of Western Europe, and especially with America coming to the aid, right? Very impressive for a country. What happened to all the guys? Tell you what happened. They're all Americans now, for most of them. Because I tell you, I run into a lot of Germans here, and with few exceptions, they're not impressive, the men. One really good exception, Jan, he's my newest friend. We see each other whenever I go to that 99-cent breakfast, 99 baht breakfast. He's there. He's only a week here in country. Last time he was in Thailand was 12 years ago. So I've been telling him about everything, showing he's very grateful. But that guy should be an American conservative Republican. And, in a country where they're so sheepish and compliant to go against, I mean, he's been following the whole COVID thing. Neither he nor his kids are vaccinated, right? And they think it's a bunch of crap. They think that COVID was a bunch of crap. And understand why it was what it was. So, there's always exceptions. And I'm happy that Jan is one of them, right? Cool guy. Really good guy. But even he says, I can't talk about any of this stuff to my fellow Germans. Nope. He needs an American to bounce off of. Oh, good. I'm happy to play that role. But the German chancellor, another female, right? I know nothing against females, but I just really don't think they're I know they're intelligent. I know they're capable, right? They can do and be anything they want to be, but is it really in their gene, in their what is it? In their soul to be a dominating sort of person, politician with power, or is nurturing and having and caring for children and being the CEO of a household rather than president of a country? I don't know. There's exceptions, of course. Take Margaret Thatcher. I've long said that, when America one day perhaps has a female president, an elected female president, because we may very well get one, and it'll be a toss-up whether she's better or worse than Biden is. I mean, Democrats are so fucked. It's hilarious. I love it. Comeuppance, crazy comeuppance everywhere from all directions, right? But it's their own fucking stupidity. I mean, they truly are a bunch of fucking solipsistic Dunning-Kruger morons. There, I said it. Most of them. Go look at what the biggest things are in terms of media consumption. Sports, TikTok. What is it? OnlyFans. Check out who's the biggest consumers of stuff like that. Just garbage like that. Sign their party affiliations. You know how that will come out. There's overlap, of course. So anyway, the German chancellor sitting there, literally saying she doesn't give a fuck about what her voters think. They're going to support Ukraine, who up until 2022 was regarded as one of the most corrupt countries on the face of the planet. It boggles belief. And they're going to just let those energy bills rise. They're setting themselves up for more devastation, economic devastation and social upheaval than since World War II. Shit you not. Well, at least the infrastructure will still be intact. Wonder when Germany's going to start firing up those nuclear power plants again. Guarantee it'll happen. We'll laugh. Saw a news article that one of the guys who openly laughed as one of the Germans in the UN delegation when in 2018 Trump gave his speech and said, Germany, you're by being so dependent on Russian energy, you're going to feel the pinch one of these days. And they laughed at him. So one of the guys, he was asked, he refuses to answer. Of course. They're just all a bunch of scum and vermin. They really are. Stop with your confirmation bias. Get educated. I'm not saying be a Democrat or Republican, conservative, liberal. If you're going to be a liberal, be a classic liberal, right? Look it up if you don't know what that means. Just be honest. Don't be a fanboy, you know. And for fuck's sakes, turn off the fucking cable channels. They're only doing it to keep you riled up so they can sell advertising. That's all, right? You know, you can catch Tucker because he's good. Catch him with his clips, you know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, oftentimes his monologue. There's no ads. And you can get what the good stuff. Someone will put it up. Well, even on the Fox channel, a lot of it, or YouTube channel, a lot of it's up there. You don't need to fucking sit there and watch show after show after show, right? It's just crazy. So anyway, I'm going to be coming up to the coffee shop, and I'm going to end this here. And I got a lot of footage. See since I'm going to be editing anyway, I'll cut this down, you know, cut out some of the rambling and shit like that. I definitely have to cut the drive part down to, you know, maybe 2 to 3 minutes of driving. But it's going to be fun because it's going to cut back and forth from the front view to me riding to me, narcissist me with his selfie stick. All right. But I'm walking barefoot. Keep that in mind, right? Balance things out. Yin and yang. Whatever the fuck that means. So there we go. It's been fun. You know, I like this. Just keep doing it, refining. Comment. You know, I've been receiving encouraging comments and private communications from various blog readers and even from some of my family who are starting to get hooked on my silly videos. And they, you know, for better or worse, come hell or high water, I am not a single issue blogger. How much shit did I cover just in this walk around? But no, everybody, you know, 10 million subscribers to the guy who all he talks about is fucking video games. Fuck. Jesus, the world is fucking pathetic. You know, can't venture out to think about other things. Oh, you talked about politics, or you talked about religion. So, you know, one last thing. Jeff Childers, I don't know. He's a Florida attorney. He writes the newsletter. I think it's a Substack thing, so you can find it. Coffee and COVID. He's a sarcastic as hell, a lawyer, and very, very high vocabulary. He's weird because he's so smart, yet he appears to be like a fundamentalist, born-again Christian type, right? So he's a literal believer in some of the stuff that's pretty fairy tale-like. But he made a joke that, what was it? It was about, somebody, I forget now, but he talked about, Fauci. That's what it was. And saying Fauci should get, he's on the way out, whatever. He should get a rosary where the beads are like in the shape of spike proteins or something like that. Oh shit. His Catholics hit the ceiling, right? For fuck's sakes. All right. He said one person, so he got tons of emails, tons of comments on that of people who were, you know, disgruntled or whatever, you know, highly offended, right? So one person even literally called his office to complain. I mean, this world is just off the rails. You've taken a you've taken a good communication tool in terms of the internet and its various follow-on tools like this phone I'm using, and you've just like gone off the rails with it. Nobody can take a joke. Nobody can, hold it in, whether they're offended or not. Okay, I'm walking across there. I have arrived back at the coffee place. Okay, Americano number 2. Oh, there's my cup. Yes, we reuse it because we have to save the planet, see? That is going to save the planet, reusing my cup. Yeah, save the planet. Yeah, okay, thank you.